Hey kids, Dub here in the flesh in the real world. So a little while ago, I did an episode I called Instant Adventures, where I used these Pathfinder plot twist cards to come up with an adventure randomly. So what I've done here, I've got them. This is both the plot twist cards and the flashbacks deck, which is the second thing that came with it. I stuck them all in some old Ultra Pro sleeves because I shuffle them a lot. I don't want to wreck them. So what we're going to do is do a recap. Each of these has 4 lines on it. And I don't know if you can read that from there. This one here says, Festering Insult. It's got a little thing here for gameplay mechanic. I'm not really sure how these things work. I threw the roll thing away like almost immediately. It's got 4 lines on it. So one says, you prove sensitive. Second is you find a sore spot. Third, an insult can't be forgiven. And you're warned of a taboo topic. Now because this has 4 things on it, what we're going to do is we're going to pick 4 cards. And we're going to build an adventure with those 4 cards. First one, we use the first line, the second, the third, the third, and the fourth. That gives us, no matter which card we can, this way, even if we use the same card multiple times, it shouldn't show up in the same spot. That way we don't have to worry about using the same thing over and over again. Got 120 cards, 4 things on there. There's some math that go involved that could tell you exactly how many combinations. I'd like to point out, I'm an art major, not a math major. You want to do the math for it, the comments are down below. So, among other things, got a contents of a MTG fat pack of land. It's 75 land, I think there's 25 of each. This is to help flesh out terrain. Also for where our first town is going to be, where the first adventure takes place. I've also got, if I want them, I have the Urban NPCs pack. It's got a bunch of people pictures on it for kind of for who we're dealing with, right? So, the village of First Town, we're not going to worry about details, we're just going to build the adventure. If we already had a world built, we could fit stuff in, but we don't. This is an exercise in building adventures, not world building. Yeah, that would be a whole different subject, which I don't have time for here. So, village of First Town is nestled nicely into the mountains. There's a plains to the north, plains to the south, and more mountains to the west, a forest to the east. We're in a cozy little place here. It's probably a mining town or a logging town. It's, you know, the typical dingy little place the adventurers start in. Gives them a reason to go somewhere else. So, I also have 4-sided dice here for randomly picking stuff. And even though you watch me shuffle that, I'm still going to knock a few cards off here. That way, none of this stuff looks planned. The last thing I want this thing to do is even look planned, even though I know it's not. You guys out there, you might be suspicious. I'm going to pull the top card off, and we're going to use the first line on it, which is, a weapon is more an ally than a tool. This is the plot. The main reason to gather the party. So, weapon is more an ally than a tool. Could be an intelligent weapon, but you wouldn't hand that to a group of first level characters. Not a good idea. It would just take them over and do whatever it wanted. We're not going to dwell on it too much. This is just the hook to get us where we're going. 4 off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's more valuable than it appears. 4 more. 2, 3, 4. A shield breaks in half. This is getting kind of interesting. You have other numbers on you. Roll them. A secret talent is revealed. And a gift makes you the target of a murderer. So obviously we've got something important here. It's more an ally than a tool. It's more valuable than it appears. So obviously it's more than just a weapon, right? It may be some kind of special weapon. It may have some kind of magical ability that lets it do something. A shield breaks in half. Something's defenses have been broken. A secret talent is revealed. So we'll link that back to its more value than it appears. So it does something. Something to do with getting past defenses. And getting it puts the party in danger. I'd say from someone else that wants it. So what this thing does... You're here. Okay. So because we're in the mountains, this weapon is designed obviously to break defenses. You've been given it. We're in mountains. I want to mix it in with dwarves somehow. At least that keeps us our fantasy element. It's more of an ally than a tool. You've been given... The party's been given a hammer. It's a gift from the dwarves that live here. You guys are this town was supposed to keep it safe. It's been disguised as a gift of friendship. We're going to give you this thing because you're our friends. We traded with you. You humans were dwarves. Forces are good. That kind of stuff. No one's ever tried to figure out what it does. What it does is it breaks down doors. It breaks down dwarven barriers. It's a tool that was designed by someone for attacking other dwarves and realizes this is a bad idea. We're going to give it away. So the people we give it to will keep it safe, but we'll never tell them what it does. We have to get the party somewhere to figure out what it does. It doesn't break down doors, it opens them. It's a key. The party's been given this thing. The town wants to get it back to the dwarves. Someone has figured out what it does. That's where this comes in. Someone has figured out what it does, and what they want to do is get it back out of their hands, give it back to the dwarves can destroy it. The party figures this out during the transporting, from here to here, when they go past what they think is an abandoned citadel or abandoned dwarven outpost, and this thing makes a noise, and the door opens. Nothing's going to be inside because the place is abandoned. They can find some random loot there. At this point, they'll try to figure out, maybe this is why they're giving it back. And someone is going to attack them to try and get it. Now, they're level 1. It's going to have to be someone that... It's not going to be people that are going to use it. They're going to be using flunkies of some kind. We could go the drow route. Dark elves. That's a little cliche. We'll figure out who the big bad is later. But for right now, the party finds out that a rival group wants it. And they're willing to kill the entire party to get it. So we'll put all of this up here. I'm going to write this stuff down, mostly so I don't forget most of it. Okay, the party's figured out someone's after them. They want to kill them to get the hold of this thing. We're going to work on the second act. So, off the top. The world seems enchanted. Well, I'll say, what with all these friggin' dwarven doors kicking around. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want that one. Someone returns for revenge. Obviously the dwarves have wronged someone, that's why they want this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Foes don't exploit a disadvantage. They have the party dead to rights, but something's going to happen that the party gets away. You have a hunch. That one doesn't help us any. So obviously there's a bunch of dwarven magic kicking around. Someone's returned for revenge. It's definitely someone the dwarves have wronged. Dwarves are pretty long-lived, and the people they piss off tend to be even more long-lived. So maybe it is the drow. They live for thousands of years, right? They can be patient till they find things. They've got the party trapped inside one of those abandoned citadels. Maybe even the first one. And because they don't charge in, because they want to gloat. The flunkies want to gloat. We've got you now. We're gonna this and that. The party kind of realizes if this opens one door, it's got to open others. They're going to use that to make. They should use that to make their escape. If they don't go out and fight, they can go out and fight anyway and resume this here. They'll have an easier way of it if they use this to find a way around. Next act. 1, 2, 3. The answer appears in your dreams. 1, 2, 3. A previously hidden foe reveals himself. I don't want it to be the big bad already, so what's early? No, we'll find out who it is. That's it. We'll find out who the big bad is. A choice has only 2 terrible outcomes. Nature turns, thwarting a plan. This is the last act of the adventure. So, the party runs away, gets safe. The first chance they get to hide, while they're in all this dwarven tunneling stuff, someone contacts them through their dreams to tell them the way out. In the course of the escape, the party, if they have any dwarves on there, anyone that reads dwarvish, which they might not, they'll find out who the big bad is with because so a decorative frieze on the wall or some stuff that's been chiseled down. You live in rock, you find ways to decorate it. A choice is only 2 terrible outcomes. So no matter what happens, the party has to do something that's going to put the dwarves in danger. The first being that the big bad gets it and something really terrible happens. The second is that if the big bad doesn't get it, someone else is going to wind up with it. That still is not a good idea. Better than the big bad, but nature turns, thwarting a plan. What's the rest of our terrain look like? Over here. Swamp and island on the coast. The obvious choice would be elves, but that's a little too obvious. It is nature after all. Could just as easily be... What's the D&D term? Is there merfolk in D&D? I'm thinking magic. If we go with merfolk, you can give the hammer to the merfolk. They don't like the dwarves a whole lot either. But it's still preferable to giving it to whoever the drow are that's going to destroy it. Doing so is not going to make the dwarves happy. We gave you this hammer to keep it away from our enemies. Someone figured out what it does, want to give it back. That's the honorable thing to do because you didn't have a way to destroy it. But you still wound up giving it to someone we're not really friends with. We're going to ask you to go and get it back from them. And this is dwarves swallowing their pride on something, so that kind of means something. And that... Another island. is going to lead the party either underwater or underground underwater for the second part of wherever this thing is going. Tune in next time, because even I don't know what's going to happen.